Set 6.5 comes out, and it's not perfect. Shocker, not perfect. And so we get things like this. And this is Soju's TwitLonger. Now, what I'll at least say, and this kind of goes back to the first point, is my immediate reaction is a little frustration. Because again, Soju is one of the people that has access to Lobby 2. And I can tell you, Soju has not posted in Lobby 2 in like 6 months. Soju's even admitted this, right? The one time I wanted to come on stream and talk to him, he's like, no, I don't want to let you on. I just want to bitch. I just want to complain. And it's like, okay, I get it. It's good for views. But like, again, I wanted us to kind of like work together here, not be degenerate, okay? So it's a little frustrating. And I admit some initial reaction is frustration. So I'm going to go through some of Soju's talk. And again, I'm just going to be honest here. The set's been out for 5 days. And let's talk. So, blah, blah, blah. Been frustrated about TFT, complaining a lot. Going to take a break. Cool, take a break. Breaks are good. With the release of set 6.5, something just felt off. I think it's an amalgamation of what listed below. However, I believe the current state of TFT is a fucking joke. Okay. Hyperbolic. I admit that. And this is one of the things I admit I got really frustrated at. Remember how I just told you that the team worked really hard to make the biggest mid-set possible in 2.5 months? For the team to go through that, to work their butt off, 2.5 months, and then be called, and he didn't do it in this post, but earlier he said we were lazy and put in zero effort, and then called a fucking joke, and that's where I get defensive, right? I'm like, yo, I've got a few devs here working their ass off, and remember how I just told you that those devs, when feeling bad, could go apply to the MMO? You want the TFT team to grow? Maybe don't call them lazy and zero effort. Maybe that's a fucking stupid play. Just saying. Be frustrated. Be angry. Call the balance shit. You can call the balance shit. That is not attacking a person. Calling the developers lazy, that's attacking a person. And that's messed up. Don't do that. Working with kids is hard. Champion balance. The most obvious example here is Silco and Ahri. How can Silco and Ahri be released this way? 40 base mana, no mana lock, gives mana 15 out of nowhere. Okay. So, let's ignore the Ahri. Let's talk about Silco. So step one, he's right. He's right. Silco's OP. Silco's OP. Absolutely true. It would be stupid of me to deny that fact, right? Numbers are overtuned. So you're right. No problem. Now, in any other game, how long would it take to get that fixed? A month? 2 months? 3 months? This is where while I am sad that we fucked up the numbers here, the good news is we're the TFT team, and we've proven when we fuck up, it'll get fixed fast. So when's Silco gonna get fixed? I'll give you a hint. Wednesday. On the B patch. It's probably happening. Because Silco's OP. So, yup. You're right. We'll fix it. Next thing he says is, and just look at Ahri, man. Compare Ahri and any other forecast, especially Renata, but that is a different story. Okay, not a lot to work on here. But, again, my assumption when reading this is that he's saying Ahri is bad. I don't know if that's true. Now, what I have told the team, Ahri is not intuitive. Because Ahri requires specific builds, specific items that are not obvious, right? You do not build Ahri like Lux. That's not how she works. The way you have to build Ahri is you have to take advantage of the fact that she's Syndicate and get her to go infinite. Ahri is actually dangerously good with like Warmogs, tanky items, things like that allow her to go infinite. And in that sense, this is one where the design might actually be a little more fundamentally flawed, right? Because players want their 4-cost AP champion to be slap the AP items on them, make them good, look how good they are. It's crazy, okay? Champion design. In Set 5 regionals, it is not an understatement to say that more outs mid-game, etc, etc, etc. Okay, so this one, I think there's an element of truth to this, but I think it's the wrong approach as a designer, okay? So, Soju's complaint here is that a 2-cost, 3-trait unit provides too much flexibility, assuming they're balanced well, and that flexibility is more powerful than the actual power of the champions, right? If you can run Sejuani Rek'Sai, why would you run Blitzcrank Leona. And he's right. He's absolutely right. I actually think that is a mistake. But what I'll say is, I don't think 3 trait 2 costs are inherently bad. I think the problem is actually we only made 1 or 2 of them and they're in the same goddamn tree. That was a mistake. Imagine if every 2 cost tank had 3 traits. Would that be bad? No, it might actually be better for the game. It might actually be better because then everyone has the flexibility and can flex out more and not be caught down one tree, right? And so it's an interesting thing where it's like your first reaction is like, it's overpowered, get rid of it. But actually, the answer might be it's overpowered, everyone should have it. Give Leona Debonair bodyguard strap. So, Robin, honestly, first thing I did after like thinking about this a little bit, this was like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I went and looked at the traits, and I was like, is there any bodyguards we can give 3 traits? And the only one I could come up with was Clockwork for Blitz, but to me, that wasn't worth the trade-off of, oh good, now everyone's running Blitz again. But it is also an example where I'm telling you that like when I hear feedback, I'm not ignoring it. I go look, right? First thing I did was like, can we 3 trade any of these tanks? Leona's problem was she looks too much like a Debonair. There's no good 3rd trait to slap on her, you know? So, but that was kind of the discussion. So TLDR here, Soju's right. Soju's right that the flexibility mid-game in Bruisers right now is too good. He's right. The way we're going to have to solve this is we're going to have to nerf the 3-cost champion so that, kind of like Ziggs, if you play a 3-cost champion, yes, you get that flexibility, you pay the cost with power. The problem is right now, Sejuani's also like one of the best champions. So we kind of need to buff that up or fix that, right? Like Sejuani can't be a 3-trait champion and one of the best 2-cost tanks. It's just not allowed. He's right. Gotta fix it. Cool. Augment Balance. The augments this set are just much stronger than last set. If that's true, which I'm not going to say it is or isn't yet, if that's true, not intended. We were definitely not trying to power inflate the augments. That was not a goal of this set, okay? If anything, we actually used a certain, like for example, Rich Get Richer was our balance lever for economy, which is why everything gold level is like 12 gold exactly. So they're meant to be different. I think a lot of people are getting used to some of them, but if they're all stronger, we fucked up and need to nerf them, okay? Current state, it's not. The 3 most plus electro charge. Okay, so now he's talking about mid-game, which is like stage 3, you've got your 2 augments. Someone has makeshift plus electro charge. I think electro is too strong as tier 1, might be true. But in combination with makeshift, it just makes the board way too strong. If everyone were on an even playing field, that's fine, okay? I mean, it feels like the arguments are getting a little misconstrued here. Is electro charge too strong? Possibly. Is having 2 combat augments strong? Yeah, by design. That's the trade-off, right? Sometimes you take economy, sometimes you take combat. Economy tempo, economy should give you better advantage later. Yes, different augments synergize better. He mentions having a tanky comp with makeshift is good with electro charge. Yep, that's true. Yordles are good when you get so small and thieving rascals. That's true. Yeah, I guess. Again, not denying that electro charge might be too strong. That's possible. There's a huge difference between getting econ combat and then combat econ combat. Econ on stage 1 is not the same as econ on stage 3. Okay, this is right. This is absolutely right. So sorry, we're jumping to the second point here, which is should true 2s ever be offered on stage 3? And this is an example where the answer is he's right, but this is where we needed more time to get this right. Okay. Because I'll already tell you that like Treasure Trove being offered on stage 4 is a grief. And it's interesting because if you go to Twitter and you go to Soju's tweet, there's an example here, and it's a great example. I really like this example. He's on stage 3-3, and he's offered Rich Get Richer, True 2s, Golden Gifts. Okay? This sucks. This fucking sucks. He's absolutely right. This fucking sucks and should not be allowed. Okay? 100%. 100%. He's right. The one justification, I'm going to just like try to defend it a tiny bit, is that Golden Gifts isn't meant to be an econ trait. This is a Nico's Help, a Tome of Traits, Spatula, 4 cost champions. So this one should at least be like possibly tempting here, where we've kind of fucked up. It's not, so we've kind of fucked up. I think this one just, it's not good and not good. But again, what I'd rather happen is a player go, hey, this experience sucked, and we go, true, let's fix it, and we'll fix it, and everyone's happy, rather than sort of an overdramatic, like, the game is shit and it's garbage and I'm never playing it again. Okay, is that really helpful? I guess. But again, this case, he's absolutely right. Okay, the last one, and this is probably the most complex, because it's also the one I have the least impact on, right? Let's say, for example, I was like, before I even read this, I'm like, I agree with everything and we should fix it. Guess what? I can't. I'm not the guy who runs the competitive scene. I have no impact on what we do on the competitive scene. I can't change this, okay? Are you guys, as viewers, hyped for the Piltover Cup Zon Cup? I mean, again, this is where I think he's just wrong. I think the answer is yes. A lot of passionate TFT players were excited for a structured tournament where their favorite players go in. Yes. I think they were. This is without even mentioning the format of these tournaments. 3 games top half, 3 games bottom half. Okay, so this is interesting, and maybe I'm not allowed to talk about this, so if I get in trouble, I get in trouble. Thankfully, the guy who's in charge of the Worlds format came to me and started talking to me about format. And it was nice because I got to mention some of these frustrations that players are experiencing with the format. The challenge with TFT, and this is always going to be a challenge, and I don't know how to solve this, is the contradiction of viewer experience versus format, right? I think if you ask any TFT player, they're going to want more games in their format. True, right? Like lowers variance. But these same players are also going to say, I don't want to have too low an EV and play too long, which is always interesting because, like World Series of Poker went on for like a week, I think. But the question is, what is the exact number? And I think from what we've figured out is that it's 6 games a day. 6 games a day, right? And so I think my guess is everyone who saw the 3 games cut probably wasn't happy about that. On a side note, I'm working with Twitch and potentially hosting a Twitch Rivals for the release of Set Evan, but more on that since it's in a while. True, and I know Froden had to literally beg him to get off his ass to do it, but I'm glad he's doing it. I'm glad he's using his clout to do good stuff. I can't wait. It's good to see Soju do this stuff. Good. He should do more of it. He should build even better. Soju could be a fucking Ludwig, and if he put effort into it, he could do it. Okay, so that's my thing here. And again, I just want to go back to my goal is to be a transparent, honest designer that I'm always telling you the truth. I'm always telling you how it is. I'm not hiding anything. There's no secret riot agenda. There's nothing like that. I'm being open and honest with you. And to be accessible, right? You can come talk to me and I'll admit when we fuck up, right? Going back to this thing. Is he right that Silco's OP? Yes, absolutely. And the other thing I've always promised is that when we make these fuck ups, we'll fix them quick. We'll fix them super fast. So, okay, I've ranted long. How long did I just rant? 2.5. Did I just rant for an hour? Fuck me. Why do I talk so much? I talk too much.